because, you know, it's always fun to play the bad guy. I mean, you're restricted when you're playing the good guy to sort of, you know, play the good guy. But obviously Jedis have more power and stuff, so I don't know, I think it's...
No, they don't.
Okay. So you want to be a Sith, do you? Is that what you're saying here?
No, just Highlander.
Okay.
You and me.
You and me, yeah, we'll go both. Yeah.
I think the real question is a Highlander, would a Highlander be a Jedi or a Sith?
That's a difficult question. They're different powers, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like, the people say, "Oh, Highlanders are superhuman." I'm like, no, they're not. The only thing they don't do is die normally. They do every other bodily function normally. So, you know, it's just we don't age, or you know.
When you say they function normally, what do you mean?
You know, I mean, I don't fly through the air. I don't, you know, have superpowers. Not me. I knew you'd jump on that. That's why we got on.
All right, thank you. Let's get another question.
So with a new Highlander movie that's been in talk the last year or so, who would you recommend to play Connor McLeod?
It's for me.
Well, it's not for me.
Which one's the Colonel?
It's a tough question. You know, they've been trying to do Highlander, a reboot. The problem, I think, is not just the actor, it's the music by Queen. And the reality, which is what I lived when Highlander 1 came out, Freddie Mercury, bless his soul, was meant to do one song, the opening credits. And he saw the movie and he said, I'm gonna do a whole album. Did it in 4 weeks, wrote all the songs that you have in the album, It's a Kind of Magic, in 4 weeks, went to the studio, and it was the most successful album that Queen ever made.
It was brilliant.
So, who do you match today with Queen? Nobody. Except Queen. Who do you match today for Sean Connery? Nobody. Sean Connery. I can't talk about myself because that's the way I am. We'll see. They're gonna make it.
Yeah, they're gonna.
When? It's been 6-7 years. They've been fiddling with the script. They're gonna make the movie. We'll see. We'll see what the hardcore fans. I think it's funny because when I was reading the script, you cannot imagine. I was reading a script. I loved the script because of the romance. Loved the script because of the action. Loved the script because immortality is, in some ways, what we're all trying. That doesn't mean we want to be immortals, but we want to live longer. Everything that's being done today in, you know, on a pharmaceutical, on chemicals, on whatever is trying to stay younger, not talking about plastic surgery, but can you match something that's been today, talking about the movie, talking about the TV show, and talking about the movies that we did together with Adrian? It's been going over 3 generations. So for me, it's not the greatest idea in the world.
Let's get another question.
You don't do a remake of The Godfather. You don't do a remake of etc., etc., etc.
I'd much
Some
rather see a
movies you
continuation
can't touch.
in this world.
What?
I'd much rather see a continuation in this world. You have movies and the series. I mean, I feel like you could keep going with those characters as part of the canon and introduce new characters to this world without having to
Oh yes,
restart
but
them.
the issue you have is the younger generation.
Yeah, but what's interesting is that Highlander movies or TV series been going through, for the TV series, 2 generations, for the movie, 3 generations. I've got fans that are 12 years old because their father has been showing them the movie, because the father of the father's been showing the movie. So, same for the TV show. Is it a good idea? I don't know. Is it a bad idea? I don't know either. But we'll see. But let's wait.
Question.
Okay, the historical part of Highlander, the series, is what I enjoyed. And it's historical that caught my eye with the Highlander movie, the original. So do you have a favorite costume or a least favorite costume historically? I know Chris would probably enjoy the sweatshirt, loose baggy stuff, but is there one
I was
that
born like that.
yeah. I was wondering if there was one that you really enjoyed that was one of the historical pieces, or
Costume.
you just really, thank you, costumes, that you just really, I hope this one gets up soon.
I like the kilt. I had my own kilt. I wore it actually to the office the other day. I got some really interesting looks. And I'm one guy going, what does that mean exactly? You're wearing a dress? I don't know.
That's exactly why we got along, is that, no, trust me. To start putting the armor, the kilt, the thing, the this, the that. No, you put a pair of jeans, a pair of sneakers, put a raincoat, you hide the katana, nobody knows how. But it's so practical.
Do you remember Bill Panzer? Bill Panzer,
Yeah.
who passed away, God bless him. He used to say to him, so where does the sword come from? He's like, it's there when you need it. And Jim Burns, who was in the series, said, well, if anybody ever asks you that question, just tell them it comes from the same place the music does.
All right, let's get another question.
All right, so as Neo, the only chosen one. No, just kidding. I just want to say I do appreciate everything that you have. I do have original VHS copies. I have a metal DVD case that came with the Queen soundtrack. I do have to ask, which one of you in a death battle would win, the original McCloud from the first movie, or him from the TV show?
Answer that in the room.
It sounds a little biased.
There's a little bias in the room.
No answer.
I'm leaving that one alone.
They did the movie both
Battle,
ways.
who do you think would win? Who would be the one?
Well, did you see Endgame? You know, the thing, interesting thing, who would you think win? I mean, the thing is, these guys don't want to fight each other unless they really had to, and at that point, that's what the Endgame was all about. It was about, there was no other choice. And then sometimes in life, you don't have another choice. And that was that point. I don't think, you know, these guys would ever have faced each other at that point. I mean, it's, you know, again, we're talking movies and TV here, we're not talking about real life, you know. I'm not drawn to kill him, and he's not drawn to kill me. Yeah, that depends on the day, I think. Yeah.
No, it was, I tricked him. That's all. I gave him a trick to win a battle, not telling him that he was going to use that trick to kill me. That's all. And at what point, you know, you have to give up a part that's very emotional, very important to me. And I was happy to give it to Adrian. That's all. That's all.
You know, I was going to mention something. Somebody actually asked me on my Facebook page the other day, I saw a quote saying, that move you did when, you know, it's an inescapable move, how does it work? I'm like, well, actually, there is not such a thing.
No.
You can get out of it. If we really wanted to, we would just say, stop. Okay. But we were doing the movie, so they told us you had to create this move. And there's hardly any moves, well, I don't know of any, that you can't stop mid-stride or whatever, you know, because it's all done through personal movement. So you're living a fantasy.
Next question.
Okay, so Highlander's action-based also. Any permanent scars from filming?
Permanent scars.
Yes. About 15 for me.
Now, this finger, okay, was split every week, virtually every week, across here, because this is the closest one to the suba, which is the closest one where sometimes if you miss, you're going to get connected. Actually, I remember you and I had a discussion when we did the very first episode about, and didn't you get clipped a bit by Richard Mole?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, and you said to me one time, you said, I've had it before in Highlander, I can see how big it is again. We're going to get the stuntman in because he's going to down. And it's true, it's what happens is the adrenaline, this is why I do the sword experience, some of you know about. I talk about the safety, and there are so many levels when you're doing a sword fight, because you can do the choreography. We do it, the choreography, and you're on one level. And you're just learning choreography. Then you've got to deal with lights that are in your way, you've got to deal with the adrenaline of the character that's involved in it, you're dealing with different level ground. So many different factors can get involved in it. And if somebody's adrenaline is like, ah! They turn into a beast.
Yeah.
So you can be careful when you do these things. So, you know, anything can happen. And, you know, we did this, and so yeah, injuries do happen if you do that. I mean, I was split up many times. My eye here. Actually, when the one I directed, I got split open here because there was a light, like that one there, that I can't see anybody here. The actor was coming around, he had two swords, he had a cane and a sword, and he was turning around with one hand, like this, and as he turned around, switching back this way to turn back round again, I missed the cane because I couldn't see it. And as I missed it, I went to catch it again, but he'd already turned, so he turned around and went, whack! And just hit me right across the, and it just went, I'm like, oh dear. And they stitched me up with no anesthetic because I had to go back on set. Producers go, are you okay? Can we go back on work now, please?
The same, it's funny what Adrian is saying, is on Highlander 2, and if there is any question on Highlander 2 afterwards, I will answer.
Did it happen?
No.
Did it happen?
They cut half a tendon and a full vein on the set with a stunt guy. Blood was flying. And I went to the hospital. They saw me, and then the producer said, "Do you think we can go back on the set?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." Like this big thing around my thumb. And after an hour, it was impossible. First of all, because you could see it on the camera, and secondly, because it was a big injury. When Adrian is saying we are between at least action and cut in a fantasy world, is that it went through the nails, cut the nails completely, tendon, veins, and yes, you go back because you have fun. Sounds crazy.
The definition of the word fun.
But at what point you have to stop?
Let's get another question.
Hi, I was wondering what your favorite part of Highlander Endgame was?
Money.
What was the favourite part of Highlander Endgame? The carriage scene was kind of fun.
And also to be together.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
Yeah.
Because we hadn't done it since the beginning of the series. That was, we got back into a film, and it was actually an arduous thing. Remember, we started in Romania, and we were going to shoot everything in Romania, and then Bruce Payne got sick. So the major battle where, at the end, and the one we were supposed to do on the rooftop, then had to be moved. Now, when you move something like that, you have a set. It is choreographed for that set. When you move, you have to re-choreograph and relearn the entire fight. So we learned that, and then we went to London, and we did the fight in London. And then we hadn't finished there, and we had to go to Luxembourg. So every time you move, it's kind of, but it was fun to be together to do this. It was, I had a great time, personally. I bet you. Yeah.
Me too. No, really. But I gotta tell you, I was happy to move from Romania to London. I guarantee. I was so happy to be in London. We had great fun in London.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're not telling you about that.
Yes.
Save it for the memoirs.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Next question.
Looking back on the TV series, is there anything that you would have changed if you had the opportunity, or are you satisfied with the work that was done?
Wow. We went through a lot of stuff. There's 119 episodes. I did 117, 18, something like that. It was what I enjoyed the most was the ability to switch locations between Paris and Vancouver and the stories that they created. And so, people said, so what other period would you do? Well, there's so many more you could do. There's so many human stories that could be told. It could go on, but again, it's like at some point things have to end, or they change into something else. Because what ends up happening, you can't ever do this. At some point, it's going to do that. I'd rather be going out when it's up here, rather than when it goes back down. Because people go, well, you know what, I liked it, but then it got kind of boring, and you turned it off. I'm not interested in that. I'd rather go out on a high note and say, I accomplished this. I learned so many different things as a director, as an actor, the whole gamut. So to me, I went out at the time I think I should have gone out. And that's my personal, choice.
I just want to say thank you guys for an awesome, 30 years. Just thank you.
You're dating this again.
Thank you.
And then my question is, why did they try to switch you guys from immortal to aliens?
That didn't happen.
I wasn't there for you. That's so familiar.
Hey, aliens. I do not. It had nothing to do with me. You know, the interesting thing about creative process is that it's never our creation. It's the producers who come up with this fantastic idea. We're going to do this. It's like a writer. A writer will be in a room and they'll write something like, he jumps into the lake and swims across another. They forget that it's November in the middle of Canada and it's -3 or 10 in the water. You know, so the same thing with producers. They create this idea, and then when you film it, it comes up to do it. It's like, no, that wasn't quite such a smart choice.
It wasn't anything specific on their part, or
Sorry.
I'll say, was it anything specific on their part, or the producer's part, or just something random they decided to do?
Are you referring to Highlander 2?
Not canon!
I have to mention something actually. The producers, if you tell them about Highlander 2, they'll say, what's that? We didn't do that film.
So, from Russell to myself, we fought hard to not explain what an immortal is about. They wanted to have an explanation. So this fucking, excuse me.
Sorry, kids.
Planet-sized. That I said, why do you want to explain? But the thing, when I signed Highlander 1, I signed the sequel. So I had no saying on the script. But when I was promoting the movie, I said to everybody around the world, that the producer were like strangling me in the background. I said, if you're looking for the sequel of Highlander 1, don't go and see Highlander 2. And they said, are you nuts? I said, no, I can't betray what I believe in.
It's a production
They still went.
Yeah.
They still went to see the movie. The movie was huge, but it was a big disappointment. I think if we're talking about the movies, we should have gone from Highlander 1 to Highlander 3, which should have been Highlander 2, and then Highlander we did together. That's all. I fought like crazy to say, what are you talking about, this planet-sized and the people on come? I said, what the movie is about. It was an interesting idea in Highlander 3 to have 3 mortals buried for 200 years in a cave and coming out straight from Highlander 1. If you take Highlander 2 and not call it Highlander 2, it's a good movie.
Connor and Justin McLeod are not aliens. You heard it here. Salt Lake ComicCon. Next question.
Now, I deeply apologize. The question I'm about to ask is going to severely age you guys, so I just thought I would apologize beforehand. But my father showed me the first movie at a very young age, and I was very interested in the universe and the lore behind it. And for us, it isn't just a franchise, a film, or a TV show. It's almost a tradition. Did you guys originally, when working on any part of this universe, imagine it being this, well, ageless, for a sense of, or lack of a better word?
No. Personally, no. I read the first script and I thought it was a great script, but I had no idea that Highlander would become not just a franchise, a cult movie. I had absolutely no idea. For the movie, for the TV show that was coming afterwards, but I had absolutely no. You cannot read a script and say, oh, this might be a great franchise, this might be a great movie, this might be a cult movie. You do a movie because you love what, not just the character, not just your character, you love everything that's around the movie. A movie is not an actor or an actress. A good movie is just a movie. So everybody, everything in this movie, everything in the TV show, if everybody is thinking, oh, Adrian is great, but the rest of the cast doesn't work, the TV show can't work. It's the same for a movie. So it's a whole. If the crew is not with you, if the cast, if the production, the director, we're just trying to bring entertainment all together and to please you, not to please us.